We skip one paragraph. Indeed, you too will be frightened, my friends, by my wild wisdom, and perhaps you will flee from it, together with my enemies. Would that I knew how to lure you back with shepherds' flutes. Would that my lioness, wisdom, might learn how to roar tenderly. And many things have we already learned together. The lioness of wisdom roared tenderly so that people wouldn't run away, so that they wouldn't be scared off by wisdom. My wild wisdom became pregnant on lonely mountains. On rough stones she gave birth to her young, her youngest. Now she runs foolishly through the harsh desert and seeks gentle turf. My old wild wisdom, that's the gentle turf that they're seeking. Upon your heart's gentle turf, my friends, upon your love she would bed her most dearly beloved. Thus spoke Zarathustra. Alright, the next section is upon the blessed isles. So I guess he's found the people and he's speaking to them now, his friends and his enemies. It is beautiful to look out upon distant seas, the ocean. Once one said God when one looked upon the distant seas. You used to say, God. You used to bring up the Almighty. But now I have taught you to say Overman. God is conjecture, but I desire that your conjecture should not reach beyond your creative will. Okay? So don't conjecture stuff beyond what the mind and man is or can handle or is capable of. Could you create a God? Then do not speak to me of any gods. But you could well create the Overman. Perhaps not you yourselves, my brothers, but into fathers and forefathers of the Overman you could recreate yourselves, and let this be your best creation. God is a conjecture, but I desire that your conjectures should be limited by what is thinkable. Okay. Could you think a God? But this is what the will to truth should mean to you. That everything be changed into what is thinkable for man, visible for man, feelable by man. You should think through your own senses to their consequences. I don't know about that last sentence, but so everything that man seeks or attains or whatever should be thinkable for man, visible for man, feelable by man. Otherwise, what value is it to man? We skip 2 paragraphs. But let me reveal my heart to you entirely, my friends. If there were gods, how could I endure not to be a god? Hence, there are no gods. It's an interesting logical proof there. Though I drew this conclusion, now it draws me. We skip a paragraph. God is a thought that makes crooked all that is straight, and makes turn whatever stands. Something standing makes it turn. Now the next part is very cryptic, and take it as you may. I couldn't cut it. So God makes everything crooked. It's a thought that makes everything crooked, and anything that stands falls over under God. How? Should time be gone, and all that is impermanent a mere lie? To think this is a dizzy whirl for human bones, and a vomit for the stomach. Verily, I call it the turning sickness to conjecture thus. Right? I've read it over several times. It's going to keep going for a couple more sentences. Evil, I call it, and misanthropic. All this teaching of the one, and the plenum, and the unmoved, and the sated, and the permanent. All the permanent, that is only a parable. And the poets lie too much. That last sentence is interesting. The rest of it's very cryptic. The poets lie too much, and I don't think it means that they lay down. It is of time and becoming that the best parables should speak. Let them be a praise and a justification of all impermanence. Okay? So he's not obsessed with heaven and the permanent and eternal. He's obsessed with impermanent, the fact that things change, the fact that we're becoming. Which you probably have heard is the essence of existentialism. You're always creating yourself, you're always becoming. Creation. That is the great redemption from suffering and life's growing light. But that the Creator may be, suffering is needed and much change. In order for a Creator to exist, not God the Creator, but man the Creator, there has to be suffering and change. Indeed, there must be much bitter dying in your life, you creators. It's not an easy process, it's painful. And pain mars their ascent, their movement upwards. That's my line. Thus are you advocates and justifiers of all impermanence. To be the child who is newly born, the Creator must also want to be the mother who gives birth and the pangs of the birth giver. We skip a paragraph. Whatever in me has feeling suffers and is in prison. But my will always comes to me as my liberator and joy bringer. Willing liberates. The act of the will and doing it liberates. That is the true teaching of will and liberty. Willing liberates. We skip to the end of that paragraph for the last sentence. Away from God and gods, this will has lured me. What could one create if God existed? But my fervent will to create impels me ever again toward man. Thus is the hammer impelled toward the stone. That's how I look at man. He's a stone, and I'm going to hammer him. Well, not me, but Nietzsche, or Zarathustra. Oh, men, in the stone there sleeps an image, the image of my images. Now, you all probably know the metaphor that when Michelangelo or whoever created a sculpture, they get the chunk of stone, and their job is just to take away the stuff around the sculpture. The sculpture is in there, they just have to remove all the excess. Alas, that it must sleep in the hardest and ugliest stone. So mankind, it's going to be great when we get the thing finished, but right now it's extremely difficult to chip away at, and it's not even very good looking stone right now. Now my hammer rages cruelly against its prison. Pieces of rock rain from the stone. What is that to me? I want to perfect it, for a shadow came to me. The stillest and the lightest things once came to me. The beauty of the overman came to me as a shadow. Oh, my brothers, what are the gods to me now? Okay, so the overman is a shadow, and he's got to take this piece of ugly, hard stone and hammer away at it until he gets to the point where the shadow is there. Right? You can always get crazy metaphors from Nietzsche. Thus spoke Zarathustra. The next section, on the pitying.